I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 48 world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup. It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez, a lot of his opponents.
You a
yeah, there is stuff.
You a
see
you a
you
hold talking to let Aaron
you a
because you keep talking like a
you
doing all that talking.
That's how
you doing all that talking.
You catch me, gotta come back. I come back.
Don't talk, and you talking too much.
This
you want some attention?
Some icon right here. This is gonna be legendary right here.
Female ass.
So y'all tune in. This is a legendary old school fight.
Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, all right.
Greg Hackett has been vocal about Terence Crawford's ability to overcome Canelo Alvarez, a belief that stems from Crawford's fearless nature inside and outside the ring. According to Hackett, Crawford does not approach fights with hesitation or intimidation, which makes him stand out in a division where many opponents hesitate when stepping in against a dominant figure like Canelo. Hackett stresses that Crawford's self-belief is not arrogance, but a product of years of discipline, victories, and adaptability. Confidence, he says, is a fighter's strongest weapon, and Crawford carries it into every contest. Facing Canelo, who is considered one of the sport's pound-for-pound best, requires mental resilience, and Hackett is convinced that Crawford possesses that in abundance. Hackett views this fight not as an uphill battle for Crawford, but as another opportunity for him to show that he thrives under pressure.
Canelo, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money going to land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight, the reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we can get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just gonna come down to the big question for Bud is can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence. You know?
The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to, the big question for Bud is can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is does he get old? I say that for a reason. It's he got a lot of fights, bro. He got I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know, I mean, a lot of people would like to give him for not being able to take a shot or not. I mean, not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So, it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how, you know, I mean, I'm not about to get into all of that, but, you know, I mean, I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
No, but Eubank Ben. I mean, how much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight. Though.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
yeah, that's
but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
Observers have been stunned by Terence Crawford's physical transformation at 175 pounds, a weight far above his natural division. Reports and visuals show him looking shredded with defined muscles, a thicker neck, and broader shoulders, projecting the image of a fighter prepared to face a physically dominant opponent like Canelo. This transformation has reassured many that Crawford is not walking into the fight undersized, but rather has tailored his body to withstand the demands of a higher weight class. His conditioning suggests that he has taken this challenge seriously, investing in strength and conditioning programs that maximize power without compromising agility. For fans, seeing Crawford bulked up yet still sharp creates hope that he can neutralize Canelo's physical advantages and bring the same technical brilliance that has defined his career. The sight of a stronger, scarier-looking Crawford has fueled new debates about whether size will truly be the deciding factor.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. Like, maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Ade Oladipo offers a more critical perspective on the fight, arguing that while it has drawn immense attention, it lacks the unique intrigue seen in other recent high-profile matchups such as Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. According to Oladipo, Crawford versus Canelo does not carry the same balance of competitiveness and suspense, partly because of the natural weight difference and the expectations that lean heavily in Canelo's favor. While Usyk versus Dubois brought in a clash of contrasting styles and genuine unpredictability, Crawford versus Canelo seems less balanced to him. He feels that the excitement is manufactured more by promotion than by the actual dynamics of the fight.
I'm holding you to the standard you set. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Promoters have done everything possible to elevate Crawford versus Canelo into a cultural spectacle by branding it as the biggest fight of the century. They have tapped into the global boxing audience, creating excitement beyond the sport's traditional fan base. The involvement of Netflix has further amplified the hype, offering unprecedented coverage, behind-the-scenes footage, and access that makes the event feel larger than life. With documentaries, interviews, and press conferences strategically marketed, the fight has reached households that may not ordinarily follow boxing. This promotional approach blurs the line between sports and entertainment, building anticipation that rivals the biggest crossover events in history.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. Looks like they've already sold 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
believe
there's not that many
out.
left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
It used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein provides a candid assessment, stating that despite the enormous promotional push, this was not the fight the boxing community was truly waiting for. According to him, the demand for Crawford versus Canelo was not organic, as fans were more interested in seeing Crawford face other names in his natural division or Canelo against challengers closer to his weight. Bernstein explains that while the matchup has appeal paper, it lacks the kind of natural rivalry or storyline that elevates a fight into a must-watch occasion. He further notes that while the promotion has succeeded in generating noise, the actual interest among core boxing fans remains subdued compared to other super fights. Bernstein's preview highlights a common criticism that the fight is more of a marketing creation than a response to genuine fan demand.
So many tickets available, for this fight because of that undercard. This production promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because, again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is gonna be some memorable night of boxing other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Another widespread opinion surrounding this matchup is the perception that while it will attract a large audience, it was not a fight that fans actively demanded. Many feel that the size and weight difference heavily favor Canelo, which could turn the fight into a predictable outcome. The excitement, therefore, hinges on whether Crawford can overcome those disadvantages and pull off a historic win. If Crawford succeeds, it will be remembered as a shocking and thrilling event, rewriting the narrative of boxing underdogs. However, if Canelo wins in the manner most expect, the fight may be dismissed as boring or inevitable. This view reflects the tension between hope and expectation, with fans craving the possibility of an upset, but wary of being let down by a result that seems predetermined. The intrigue lies in whether Crawford can defy the odds and prove that skill can overcome size.
Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded, what looks to be about 175. Now, he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Alvarez's pedigree cannot be overlooked. Having turned professional at just 15 years old, he brings decades of experience against some of the greatest names in boxing. Unlike many fighters who might lack technical fundamentals, Canelo possesses one of the best jabs in the sport, a granite chin, and an ability to adjust tactics mid-fight. His reputation as an elite boxer is built on victories across multiple weight divisions, and his consistent ability to handle high-pressure situations. For Crawford, facing someone with such a deep resume presents the ultimate test. Canelo's blend of skill, toughness, and ring intelligence makes him a dangerous opponent for any fighter, regardless of their style.
Terence Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.